In this video, I'm going to show you how to add your pictures and some text for your WeVideo project, and also with some videos sprinkled in there as well. So the first thing you want to do is go to WeVideo.com and sign in with your school email address. If you've signed into WeVideo before, a lot of times it'll log you right in, but if not, just make sure you choose your school email address. Now, you're going to come to projects and you can create a new project. I'm going to call this Celeb Bio Elvis. You don't need a description, it's personal, and you can click on create. And you don't need any of this media. And again, as far as the template goes, we don't want to use any of their templates, so we just want a blank edit. So I have a cool clip from the first time that Elvis was on Ed Sullivan. And so I thought it would be fun to introduce the project with Ed Sullivan introducing Elvis.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
And then I'll cut to the title of the project. So I'm going to click on the video and I'm going to add it to video 1. I can scroll down here if I can't really see. And we're going to cut that after the screams. We're going to cut it right about there. So I just click on the scissors to cut. And then I don't need any of this, so I'm going to click on the clip and I'm going to click on delete. Once he introduces Elvis, I want to cut to a black screen. So I'm going to click on backgrounds. Of course, you can use any of these. I'm just going to use a solid black background. So then I would add that to my project. And I want it to be while they're screaming. So
yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
So I need to stretch this out a little bit longer. Okay, so we can only see a black screen right now, so I need to add a title. Right now I only have 2 layers, video 1, video 2, so I actually need to add a video 3 layer. So I'm going to click on the plus sign. I'm going to add a video track. So now I can add a 3rd layer of text. So I'm going to click on text, and of course you can scroll through and look for whichever text you like. I know I want to use this one, rise 3 lines. So I'm going to click, drag, and I'm going to add it to my project. You just kind of have to scroll back and forth to be able to see, which can be a little annoying, but it's because I have this filming thing at the bottom. Okay, so I'm going to move this back. Now to change what shows up in the box, I'm going to double click. And of course, I could change the color of the font if I wanted to, and the size. I'm going to go ahead and just put Celebrity Biography, Elvis Presley. So if I wanted to, I could make this smaller just by clicking on manual. And then I could change the font if I wanted to. They've recently added some new fonts that you can play around with. And let's make his name different. Let's see. Oh, that looks cool. So once you have it how you like it, you're just going to click Save Changes. And now let's check what we have.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
Okay, so my title looks great. All right, so what I want to do first is what a good idea is to have those celebrity biography questions that you answered. It's a good idea to have those on another screen that you can pop back and forth to. So I have my questions here. So the first thing I know I want to share is when he was born and where he was born. So I would pop back over to WeVideo, and you can do your titles in a couple of ways. You can either lead with a title, meaning you show the title and then the picture, or you can actually put the title on the picture. It's up to you. For when he was born, I'm going to actually just lead with the title. So I'm going to come down here and I'm going to stretch this black screen down because I'm going to need a background for my title. So the first thing I'm going to share about him is when and where he was born. I'm going to use, you can play around with the titles and see which one you like. I'm going to use this one here that says progress. And where did it go? There it is. So I'm going to scoot it back. I'm going to double click so that now I can change what it says. I don't really want to use this peachy color. I'm going to go ahead and change it to yellow. Again, you can use whatever colors you like. I tend to use yellow and black because that's our school color. I would say Elvis was born on January 8th, 1935 in Tupelo, Mississippi. Now, right now it's using different fonts. I like my stuff to be consistent. I like it to be the same. So I'm going to make sure all of my fonts match. And so I'm going to go through, I'm going to change them all to match. I just find this to be clean, consistent. And then you can also see there are 3 different sizes. I like how this 87 looks. This one's also 87. So then I'm just going to change the last one to 87 so that all the font sizes match. And that looks good to me. So I'm going to go ahead and hit Save Changes. When I was downloading my media, I found a picture of Elvis as a baby. Let's see if I can find it. Looks like I don't have it in this file. Maybe I have it in this one. Here he is. So I'm going to go ahead and add my baby photo to my project after I talk about when he was born. Now, I don't like this picture is old. Obviously, he was born in the early 1900s, so the picture is very pixelated, meaning it's not very clear. So what I can do to fix that is I can actually shrink the picture down. So I'm going to double click on the picture, and where it says scale, I can actually shrink it until the picture looks a little bit clearer to me. I could also come over here, drag the picture around wherever I want it. I'm going to leave it in the center. And I'm actually going to probably make it a little bit bigger. Okay, and I'm going to hit Save Changes. The other thing you could have done is you could have had a text on top of the picture. So I could have done, let's see, which one do I like? Whisper, neon test. That's new, you guys. I haven't seen that one. All right, so just for the sake of saving time, I'm going to add another title track. I'm going to call it, it's going to be video 4, and I'm going to add In with a Whisper on top of the picture. And I could change this to, by clicking on the bubble, Elvis was born on January 8th, 1935. It automatically adjusted the size to fit, but if you needed to, you could do that as well. Now it's covering the picture. All I have to do is come over here, click, drag it down exactly where I want it to be, hit Save Changes, and I can either lead with the title or I could have the title on top of the picture. So that's the 2 options that you have, but I'm going to delete this one because I like it leading in. That's just a personal preference. Now, you never want your movie to be silent, okay? You want to either have music playing or an interview clip where your person is talking or someone is talking about them. You never want your movie to be silent. Now, make sure if you do have an interview clip that you lower the volume under the clip so that we can hear the person talking. And I showed how to do that on a previous video that says how to add and edit video clips. So if you need to go back and watch that video, you can. Now, when I was downloading media earlier, I downloaded another one of Elvis's songs called Love Me Tender. And it's a very soft, a very sweet song. So I thought when we talked about when he was born, I could use that song. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to video 1. Now remember, as long as you have a title over that music video, it will only play the music, not show the video. So just make sure you have it covered with a title. Now I'm leading with this other thing where the girls are screaming, and we don't want it just to abruptly cut off. So we want to fade that out. So to do that, I would come to the clip, click on these 3 little lines, click on the volume, and I can fade out. I find 2 seconds to be a good fade out time. So then it would go to the next song. So let's check our video, how we've edited it so far.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, yes, that's right, Elvis Presley.
Fades out.
Love me tender, love me sweet.
Okay. Now it's a little bit glitchy because as you see above the picture, it says shown in low resolution for faster preview. So what that means is if you're watching your project back and it's a little bit glitchy, it will not be glitchy when you export it. It's just trying to save time for you while you're watching the preview. I want to show you one more thing you can do with the pictures. I know I wanted to include this picture of Elvis and his mother because he was discovered when he was recording a Mother's Day song for his mother. Someone overheard him singing and they were like, whose voice is that? The rest is history. Now I want to show you this picture specifically because I only want to use a portion of the picture. I only want to use the part of the picture that's him and his mother. I haven't figured out a way to crop on WeVideo, how to crop a picture, but I'll show you what I was able to do. If I double click on the picture and I click on the picture itself, I just move this over. And then I'm not using that other part of the picture. So I'm going to hit save. So the problem that we're seeing though is we're seeing part of this music video. Remember, we can block that out by having this black box, just stretching it out, and then it makes it so I don't see that music video under the picture. Now for text, I would need to have text over here in this empty part. So you do have options where you could just click and move the text wherever you need it to be, or there is some options where it only has text on the side of a screen. So I'm going to go ahead and use this text. So I'm going to need to add it to video 4. So I'm going to click, drag, and drop. I'm going to double click, and you're going to see that the text is blocking the picture. All we have to do is click and drag and move it to the other side. Okay. Now, if I click on this thought bubble here, this is where I can change the colors. Right now, it's giving me a bit of a gray background. I want to go ahead and change that to black. And then instead of using white and blue, guess what? I'm going to use white and yellow. Now I just type over the words to change what it says. Elvis was discovered in a recording studio recording a song for Mother's Day. Now, there's another line down here. I don't need it, so I can just click on it, delete, and if I add a couple spaces, it'll just leave that line blank. Now, right now, all 4 of these lines are a different size. I don't like that. This one's 79. I'm going to go ahead and change this one to 79. And I'm going to change this one to 79 as well. It's going to look better if they all match in size. Okay, so I'm going to make sure my music is playing, and now I'm going to check it.
Tender, love me sweet, never let me go.
A little bit glitchy. So the picture cut out before the text did. We don't like that. So I'm going to come down to this picture and I'm going to stretch it out and make sure it matches.
Let me go.
It's okay if it doesn't exactly line up, but we don't want the picture to go away and the text is still there or the other way. I could keep going and I could keep showing you how to add cool text, but instead I would rather you get editing. So again, make sure you have your questions open on one screen with your research, have your WeVideo open on another screen so that you can pop back and forth. remember, you can either start with the title, start with the information, then show the picture, or you can have the picture and have the information underneath. Same thing goes for a video. You could have a video and you could have the date underneath. You just play around and try different things. So, oh gosh, I'm just way too tempted. So I'm just going to show you one more thing. So if we were to do that clip of Elvis the first time he was on the Ed Sullivan Show, let's bring that clip back here. So I'm going to want to get rid of this music video now. So I'm going to click right here. Actually, I'm going to click back after that clip of him and his mom. I'm going to drag this back. And where did that music video go? Let's stretch this out for a second. I guess I didn't add it. So let's add it again. And we are going to, oh, I did add it. It's up here. Let's move it down. We're going to start it right when Elvis starts playing. He talks for a little while. Talks for a little while. Talks for a little while. He raises his hand. The girls are screaming. And I think he laughs again. He laughs again. There we go. All right. So I want to make sure I cut it right about here. I delete this. I move this back. And of course I could fade that music out.
You ain't nothing but...
Okay, so let's shrink this video down a little bit so I can put a title underneath. So I'm going to double click. I'm going to scale it down. I'm going to move it up. I'm going to save changes. I'm going to come back to our titles, our text. And there's one called marquee that I think would be perfect for this. Here we go. Marquee lower third, which means it's going to put it on the bottom of the clip. The scrolling back and forth is definitely a little bit challenging. Let's try that again. There we go. So I'm going to drag this title down. Come to the title here. I'm going to make the lights are not bright enough. There we go. Elvis first appeared on Ed Sullivan. It should catch it if you make a spelling mistake, but I would still be careful. September 9th, 1956. Now that is teeny tiny, so it might work if we change it to something more bold. I can try making it bigger, but the problem is it's going to eventually cover up the bottom portion. So if we save changes, we watch this back, I would fade it out.
You ain't nothing but...
All right, so, and then you could stretch the title out so that it's longer. You see how you can definitely get obsessed with editing. I mean, in my opinion, it's so much fun. But play around. Have your titles in different places. Change the color, change the font, change the size. But you definitely want to make sure the title matches what you're talking about. So, for example, Elvis did experience tragedy early in his life. He was actually born a twin. He had a twin brother named Jesse. But sadly, the twin died at birth. So if I were to share that as a title, I would want to use a title that's not silly or goofy. Like I wouldn't want to use this title and be like, you know, his brother, twin brother died at birth. Sorry, it's frozen. You see how this title is kind of wild? You wouldn't want to use that for something a little more serious. You could use, this one does have the quotation marks around it, But if you change the color of the quotation marks to black, you can make them disappear. So you definitely want to use titles that match the information that you're sharing. Don't just use a wild title because you think it's fun. You want it to make sense. I could keep talking for hours, but instead I'll stop and I will let you reach out to me if you have any questions. Good luck.